to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As far as attendance, everybody is here except for Kawana. Got your signatures, so we'll set that. Everybody got a copy of tonight's agenda? If I get a motion.
Are you gonna add, let's see, talk about,
In our discussion, we'll
okay,
see the motion first.
so, yeah, I'll make the motion. Approve the agenda.
Second. Discussion?
Need to add the zoning,
For new business?
yes, the zoning permit for commercial, and then, application for zoning permit.
Any other additions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Motion carried. December 13th meeting minutes. I got a copy of those. When you guys viewed those, did you see the word, draft on them? No? Like a watermark? No. No? You should, moving forward, you should see that, so then when we change it after our meeting, you did?
Yep.
Oh,
You know, just the draft you're saying on the.
no, you did too.
Yeah,
One I sent in the email.
yeah, the one that,
electronic village yard.
How do you print that?
just check it out, my email that she sends it.
I know off a computer or phone?
Phone, yeah,
Computer?
either way, it'll do it.
Oh, we gotta figure that out. Okay,
Can't
I'm sorry.
figure it out.
Well, no, it sounds like you got it there, it just
It's
matter
there,
of,
it's just not coming through.
Jake's just special.
I can't get either,
Oh, you
so,
can't get
yeah.
it.
My wife's always special.
I sent you guys special ones.
Everybody get a copy of the December 13th meeting minutes, if I could get a motion on those.
Make a motion to accept the December 13th, meeting minutes.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion? I know that, she's gonna add, obviously, who makes motions and seconds it on this moving forward. And then hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Public comments, open up public comments for agenda items only. Hearing none, then I'll close public comments. Next on the agenda is David Kelsey, zoning update.
Okay, for the month of December, there were 3 permits. One was for a home, that was 9984 North Fritzner Road. Then there's one at Barndominium at 11772 North Johnson Road. And then there's a post frame dwelling at 8152 Harmony Drive. Now, the difference on the Johnson, which is a barndominium, and the post frame dwelling, the barndominium has a concrete floor, and the post frame dwelling has a crawl space, but I don't know what our definition has, but they're kind of the same thing. A barn dominium is a, structure. It's like a post frame, or, it's got the poles, and that's barn dominium, so I don't know what the difference of a barn dominium and a post frame dwelling is. Barn dominiums can have crawl spaces and they don't have to, the same as a post frame dwelling, so I don't know. Maybe it's the same definition, I never looked it up on the internet or anything. But anyway, that's all there is on that, and, going down the line, when you guys talking about, these two, I don't know where you can put this in, I needed to, talk to the board about, something that me and Brandy talked a little bit about it, and it was not really clear, and, she said I might wanna suggest to you guys maybe make the verbiage a little more clear on how we should go about it. I think I know what.
On what subject?
It's for, commercial permitted use and, not permitted use. Basically, in permitted use, it says,
What section are you in?
page 81, chapter 9.
We might have to resolve that, Bill,
You know what I'm talking about?
because that's what I brought up. I brought that up to Quanah, so in the very first page, under the commercial description, it was under commercial. Under the section E, we added this would include commercial business for use only at the property address. Because like the way it was written before, or the way it's in there, it looks like that if everybody's considered commercial if they aren't residential. Agriculture, everything. So I said, well, what if Luffings or DeWitt Lumber or somebody wants to put commercial solar in, that's commercial to me. What
Are you
if they
talking-
wanna put solar
Are you
in?
talking solar?
No, this was something different, but
Oh,
I'm
okay.
listening to you, let her, she's on a roll.
I thought you were on the same, I thought that's what you were talking about now. So what are you talking about then?
Okay, for me, unpermitted use is land, and under commercial. It says land and or building in commercial districts may be used for the following purposes as permitted use, subject to the approval of a site plan. Okay, in accordance with this, with the requirements of chapter 12, you go into chapter 12, I should have had all this marked, but that's okay. Chapter 12, what we're getting into is,
Under 901.
that says it goes to the planning commission, which I feel,
So he's reading that first line.
I don't think the planning, I feel the planning commission doesn't have to have a special hearing with this, with the public. I mean, just have a normal hearing.
Where are you referring to in chapter, section 12?
Section 12, let me find it here, okay, section 12. Okay, where it's going at, let me see here, chapter 12, what it is vehicle sales and service is what's gonna be happening pretty soon. And, here, it's a permitted use under commercial. Okay, so it doesn't have to go, it's not a special use, so it doesn't have to go to the board as the planning commission as a special use, because it's a permitted use. But then it says refer to chapter 12 in that permitted use section, then it says it has to go through it, where the heck is that now? Special use shall be submitted 30 days prior to the next planning commission meeting through the zoning committee, who will review the application for completeness and and then, it goes into all this, but this here is for special land use.
Okay, let me just back up here. So, gentlemen, what he says is in section 9, he's referring to letter M, I believe.
Yes, yep.
Under section 901, vehicle sales and service.
But at the top of that 901, the very first paragraph says you have to refer to the requirements of chapter 12. You see that on top for all the listed things below that. And it has it, you have to have a site plan reviewed. It doesn't specifically say that the planning commission has to review it, and it's not a special use, but I feel the planning commission should have to review it, you know, cause you could run into drainage, or, you know, or it could be flooding neighbors, or just all kinds of different things, and, like retail stores, I think it should go through the planning commission's review, not necessarily a special hearing though. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well.
Doesn't that have to go through the Montgomery County Building Code, Bill?
Yeah, it
So would
does.
that all be resolved in the building code?
I don't know. Well, it says it's supposed to go through review here, so it doesn't say, should it just be, I review it only?
So
And then
Dave,
we
just
skip the
somebody-
planning commission? I don't think.
Just somebody that's, we're requesting a
Commercial use.
commercial for vehicles.
Well, what it is, it's,
You have an individual, it's
A1, what do you call that place that just put it in 46?
Ag one.
Oh.
Ag 1, yeah. They're wanting to purchase the property across the street, a few acres, whatever it is, clear it out and turn it into a parking spot for the equipment sales or something like that, I believe.
Some of the houses.
You had the old building there of Dwayne Stevens is, but between there and, is there a house between there and the
There's
little
a
house?
house
by
in
the-
there where Lockwood used to live years ago.
It's pretty low in there, I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
county ditch is still back behind there. but
I just
still-
got the information, I didn't get out there to look at it yet, I just got it,
So, okay,
last night, so.
so, I mean, that'd be an extension of his business is what it would be, would it not be?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay. So what's the difference if he sells, well, they'd have to have that rezoned. Well, it's already zoned.
Not already commercial.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is if Dave would approve it, if they're just gonna clear it for a lot, it'd be all right, but if they're gonna put a building on it, then that's a totally different.
okay, okay, I see what you're saying there, but,
Right, Joe, you see what I mean?
now for the drainage, we wouldn't, I don't know what houses are next door, that's a big area, what if he,
Well, at that point,
planning commission would,
we'd have to have a public hearing based on that, if he's gonna put a business there
or blacktop it, to just use it for
or
storage.
zone commercial, right?
You think it's zone commercial already?
Yeah, it should be all zone commercial.
Even those houses?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
all-
you can have a house there under special use if you wanna have a house
Those
in
houses have
commercial.
been there a long time.
So,
So it's already zone commercial. Why does he need a special land use?
he doesn't need it, supposedly, it falls under the vehicle sales, that's not a special use, that's permitted by right. So you won't have to go to a public hearing because,
And I think he can do it, just as long as, until he builds a building there, and then.
but in there, it does specify where, subject to approval of a site plan in accordance with the requirements of chapter 12. Well, chapter 12 requirements go as a special use, it's not a permitted use requirement.
So he hasn't filled out an application yet, correct?
I haven't, no, not yet, I was, gonna call him after I.
Well, it
after
sounds like you need to get
tonight's
some more information from him on what his plans are with that.
So how you read this now, do you read it as, it's gotta be reviewed? It doesn't say by the planning commission, do you feel that's what it means? It says on, chapter 9? That's the thing, it says it's gotta be approved in accordance with the requirements of chapter 12. And,
Well, the very first sentence says, land uses are those uses of land which are not essentially compatible with the permitted in the district. So if that's already zoned commercial, why would he need a special land use?
I think it's almost a misprint that it should say chapter 11 instead of chapter 12.
yeah, well, that's true, yeah, that's what I was
Cause
thinking.
if you look down at the bottom of 11.3, 11.3A, review in which a public hearing is not required upon receipt of a valid application for site plan. Planning commission shall review it and proceed the application to review the standards of the ordinance, as long as he followed what our book says, he's good to go, and then it says the reason why you'd have to have a public hearing, then that would be where it'd have to go to, for chapter 12 for special land use, is how I read that.
Yeah,
See what I mean? No, or not?
Yep.
You see what I mean? too? That's about what,
You see where that?
I almost think that chapter 12 there should read as chapter 11.
yeah.
Maybe I'm reading it wrong, that's how I kinda, that makes
No,
more
I
sense
agree
to
with
what,
you, Dave.
That makes more sense.
right, doesn't it?
We
You
should
did-
talk about that a little too.
So one of the things, Dave, that we're gonna do after we get the master plan approved, and we're close to finalizing that, is we're gonna go through the ordinances moving forward in 2024.
Okay, go on, starting in the beginning of the book and
Yeah,
go
I mean,
through, or,
that's our plan, so I mean, not to mean that we can't jump in,
yeah,
you know, if this is something that's hot topic, then, yeah, we want to take care of it, but, cause we need them to match the master plan moving forward too, so. But,
something else.
find out some information from him, we can talk about it at our next meeting,
Okay,
and then, we'll have to look at this section too, because I think, to your point, Dave,
that makes more sense, if it's already zone commercial, then it
Yep.
shouldn't need a special land.
no,
and another thing on there was brought up about
No, it's
zoning
not. They put them right in
permit,
the building.
commercial, industrial, it's $150, would it be $150, no matter if it goes to the board, has a public hearing and all that, and if it's something that doesn't require that, should the fees be $150 either way?
I don't think we set fees as far as, that the board sets the fees.
Okay,
True.
I'll bring that back to her, yeah.
So, I mean, that's gonna have to go to the board. Cause we just have recommendations in the ordinances as far as whether it's,
Okay,
so, no.
yeah, I believe takes care of it, or I can get a catch-up date on some of the violations if you want. Couple of them are still, with the snow, I didn't get out there and recheck it, the court gave them a couple weeks to, comply with it, and I'm supposed to go out there and notify the court if they're not. On, 6075 Pine, they're compliant now, that was blight. 6541 Schmidt, that was in court on the 15th, and they're compliant now. And then, there's 11565 Elm, unplated vehicles, I have to drive out there and check, I don't believe it will be done, but, I don't know, I shouldn't say that. 11836 Hickory, they gave him a little more time to clean up. 11589 Juniper, unplated vehicle and blight. 11926 Elmy, he had a second mobile home on his property, remodeling it for months. I've been in court 3 times on that one so far. And, while I was there, I noticed there was blight there on the property. A lot of scrap metal, car frame, just trailers half tore apart, just a lot of scrap aluminum car parts in the front yard, front side yard. And, I tried to get the county to take care of it originally, and, the police came out and looked around and said, we don't see anything. And they left according to the guy, so they won't enforce it, so. Back in my lap, so now that's kind of an additional thing added on to the, mobile home, which he did move that out of there, so he's compliant with that, it just took him months to do it. So now I'm gonna start again with that blight that the county can't see. And, okay, on 9270 M46, the place, I looked into it, HUD, it's in repo, HUD owns it, or it's going back to HUD. So on the taxes, it says HUD on it. Well, I did send them a notice, and I don't have it with me, I don't know when, but it's coming up real soon, and, I'll write them a ticket and, send it to court, even though they don't, well, they do own it, I guess, in repo, but, they should still be responsible, usually whoever's.
Marcy said at the meeting that, cause you weren't there, she said if the people live there, they won't do nothing, but as soon as they move out, for personal property reason, then the HUD will clean it.
Oh, well, they.
Yes, that's what she said, as long as they get notified.
Well, I don't know if I should pursue it or not, but,
Send the letter and at least.
yeah, it wouldn't cost anything to take them to court, you know, I mean,
Yes.
just in a day's work, so. Yeah, so anyway, that's where that's at, and, that's all.
And you got the new complaint form too, you're using that?
I got it and I didn't use it yet, but I'm gonna start using it.
Yeah, so
I
if
talked to her
somebody, if
about
somebody
that.
gives you a complaint, make sure that they are using that form.
Oh, the complaint form, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And you got paper trail.
Yep, we have paper trail and, you know, so on and so forth, so.
Okay.
No, he said, she said.
Yep.
Yeah.
No more. Yep, and those forms should be given to the board, so they have a file of those too, so. A copy of them.
Copy of the completed forms.
Yep, give them
Yeah.
Brandy, yep, I take them to your board meetings. Okay, so it looks like we got some takeaways from you on chapter 9, 11, 12. You're gonna get some more information on that. Okay. Dave, board update?
We approved Quana for the open position,
Yep, okay.
and, we approved the February 7th meeting, which we can talk about
Yep.
later, but we also talked, like, if we can get this done and turn it all in, if we can have a February 7th meeting, and Brandy talked like calling another special meeting for the board following Monday to, approve all that, because elections are the next month, so at the end there, so she'd rather get it done and over with. We didn't approve that till our next meeting, because we didn't know how this meeting was gonna go. We hope we could get it done.
That concludes that, old business, we'll move into, master plan resolution. I believe that you all have a copy of that. And I know when, Danielle came last meeting, she did not have this and said she'd send it. It is my belief that we need to do this and dot our i's and cross our t's, so we need to formally do this resolution. So I'm gonna need somebody to, read it, make a motion, we'll move through that process, I guess, so. If somebody wants to make that motion and read this.
I'll make the, motion for the resolution of the adoption of the master plan update. Whereas the Michigan Planning Enabling Act, Public Act 33 of 2008, as amended, provides for a township planning commission to prepare and adopt a master plan for physical development of the community, and whereas the Cato Township Planning Commission has prepared such a master plan for the township's physical development in compliance with the Michigan Planning Enabling Act, including relevant charts, maps, and text. And whereas the Cato Township Planning Commission has provided multiple opportunities for the public participation in the planning process, and whereas the Cato Township Board approved the draft plan for distribution, and subsequently the master plan was so distributed for review by surrounding communities and other public agencies as required by the Michigan Planning Enabling Act. And whereas the Cato Township Planning Commission held a formal public hearing on the draft master plan on December 13th, 2023, in order to provide additional opportunity for public comment. And whereas all comments received during the planning process have been carefully considered, and the Planning Commission is satisfied that the master plan is ready for adoption. Now therefore be it resolved that the Cato Township Planning Commission hereby adopts and forwards an adoption recommendation to the Cato Township Board of the Cato Township 2023 Master Plan as presented at the public meeting held on December 13th, 2023, subject to incorporation of the following revisions, if applicable.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
discussion. And if you have any other revisions. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
You can have a roll call on that.
I can. Joe?
Aye.
Dave?
Yes.
Jake? Myself, Phil? Aye. No nays? One absent, Cora. Hereby then, the resolution is adopted. Okay. Thank you. Let's move on to wind. And we just need to, being that we didn't have enough time to get it in a special meeting, we just need to go back through this one more time. I don't mean to repeat things, but last month we talked about making some changes to the wind ordinance. And with that said, in our previous meeting, we talked about changing section 7A. And 7A talks about moving the distance. Everybody on 7A? It might be page 54, I think, or 56. And this is under, the, large turbine, right? What's that?
Yeah, it's L1.
So, we had a recommendation of moving it from 500 feet back to 400 feet, correct?
The height.
The height, I'm sorry. We also wanted to change 7C back to where it must not exceed 50 dBAs and a 40 Lmax. And then the last one is 7E. 4 times the tip height for non-participating in all wetlands, lakes and streams, right-of-ways, and public roads. Do I have that all right?
Was that last one, was that in E?
7D. 7E.
Okay.
No, setbacks. So is everybody in agreement with that?
I am.
Yes.
So I guess, we probably should have a motion. In that motion, we should have, I'll say, changes in.
For the changes, yeah.
And, yep, we just need to do it all, we need to do it again, I need to say that.
Okay, well, I'll make that motion to, accept the changes to, and
Tell us those changes.
the change of the height from 500 to 400.
No, other way around.
No, he's right, 500 to 400.
Isn't it 400 now?
No.
No, it's 500 now.
Oh, they changed it,
Yep.
okay.
Changing it from 500 to 400. The sound, we're eliminating the LAQ 10 minutes, changing it to 40 LMAX. And changing it from 1.5 times total height setbacks from roads and other infrastructure to 4 times the setback.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Oppose? None? Motion carried. So Jenny, what I'm gonna need there is, I'd like a little snippet out of the ordinance when it comes to the 7A, 7C, and 7E. Put all those paragraphs with the new language in there.
Okay, I'm gonna need can I just get the copy of what's there now off the website, or do you guys have a copy of it? Like, I don't have a copy of the wind ordinance, I only have the solar, cause that's what I'm working on.
I can,
Yes.
I can send it to you.
Is
It
that-
is on the
I can
web.
send it to you.
It's, oh, you can?
Mhm.
Okay. Alright, okay, I need to just fix that.
Because we're gonna need to post that, of those specific changes.
Okay,
So if you put those on a separate sheet of paper, you can put them in meeting minutes, but I need it on a separate sheet of paper,
okay,
so we can post them in the window.
Just send me your email address, Jenny, and I'll send it to you.
Huh?
Send me your email address
Alright.
when you're done, when we're done.
So that takes care of,